Hello, good evening. I don't know if I'm the first, the second, the third. Did anyone who was here before me? I'll just give you some small, short introduction. My name is Rachel Cohen. I'm from Israel. You can say I'm a spiritualist. I'm now going through the training to be a rabbi. I am married to a rabbi, and I am what they call in Israel, in Hebrew, but teshuva, חוזרת בתשובה. I used to be secular most of my life. I've been a spiritualist of the New Age, and then I eventually chose the Hebrews and the Hebraism. I don't call it Judaism too much because, well, whoever started this biblical story were actually Hebrew shamans. They were not Jewish and definitely not religious in any way. They were channeling directly with their creator, no religion. They were Kabbalic, okay? They were the first Kabbalic. The Kabbalah, the Hebrew Kabbalah, the Jewish Kabbalah, it's the mystica of Judaism. Not every Jews accept it. Some say it is like foreign work. It's not Judaism. And it's not. So it kind of popped out. I'm not sure. I think it was in the 13th century, I think, in Spain. However, if you relate to the spiritual, existential knowledge from the Glow, the Zohar, the book of the Kabbalah, the main book, similar knowledge Moses had, Joseph had. They were Kabbalic actually. They didn't call it Kabbalah. They call it Hebrews, but they were Kabbalic. They were people that entered the Pardes, the secret. And were, let's say, became very special, okay? They call it enlightened, they call it becoming a Buddha, they call it Satori, they call it all kinds of names. Everywhere you have names for this experience, and it's different everywhere. The Hebrews have their own legacy. It's within the DNA, so they experience something similar to the Hebrews because they are carrying those prophets in their DNA, and once you shift, you wake up, the DNA wake up with all of their memories. So if you have Rabbi Akiva in your DNA, you are one as his ascendants, he will wake up. You will remember, not all of his life, but you will remember let's say, a person before he dies, he has sort of bottom line to all of his life journey. What did he learn? What did he understand? You get that, you get the bottom line. We are starting this pilot here with Gaya. She's the one that has this YouTube channel. None of us even knew what it meant. We are not people of technology. Most of us have no computers or cellular phones. The energy is not, let's say, very sparkling. You know what comes from there. And if you have children, you don't want to expose them to this mess of consciousness and false beliefs. I've walked in and didn't have to bother carrying them. I got them prepared. Found a husband, a widow with 14 children. People thought I was crazy, but hey, I have 14 children. Soon I'll have grandchildren. And they were like, they were good. Like, they were good kids. It was very easy with them. Yeah. My family didn't want to speak to me for 3 years. For becoming religious and marrying someone with 14 children. Well, eventually they accepted it. Anyway, we are here on Gaya's new YouTube channel that will speak about the awakeness of the consciousness, about the whole Messiah story, about syndromes, all kinds of Messiah syndromes, and how to relate to it and what can be done with it. And this is something that Gaya finds really important, like this message specifically, because people are getting inside about this, and it happens in Israel on a daily basis. Someone, at least one, is shifted, and most of them go cuckoo. They go crazy. If you are unprepared, yeah, you can go cuckoo, all right? So part of what we are doing here is trying to prevent people that are going through the shift, entering the paradise, enlightenment, Satori, call it whatever you want, the shift. We are trying to save their spiritual asses from mental institutions, right? I know that those people, they claim to be the Messiah or Jesus, and are here to save the world. So we are a group of Hebrew shamans. You know, there is a sentence from Judaism, like very deep. It says, if you saved one soul, it's like you've saved the whole world. And since humanity is one soul, it is the soul of Hashem. The ego is just an illusion, the separation is just an illusion. You don't really exist as an individual. You'll understand it later. So many people are trying to save the world, you know, all kinds of people are saying all kinds of stuff. They don't need to be messianic. They don't need to say that they're a messiah. They can be just activists of all kinds of associations and Greenpeace and stuff like that, okay? It doesn't have to be spiritual, but there are all kinds of people trying to save the world, and they're sweet, and I love them, and I hope they succeed. Save the dolphins, save the dolphins. It's important. I'll talk about it later. We are just a group of Israeli channelers, actually, shamans, Hebrews, like Cohens, Kohanot, because it's women here. We have enough life experience to not not even try to save the world, okay? Like, not gonna happen. But one soul, two, it's doable. Especially if you have a very specific knowledge that is rare. And once it is delivered in a clear way, it can prevent people from actually either go crazy or kill themselves or whatever. So, with this knowledge, saving one soul, it's a huge thing to save one soul. But saving one soul, even if it takes a lifetime to do it, to save one, it's doable. And the Torah say, you save one soul, you save the whole world. Like, don't bother trying to save them all. Seek for one that you can save. You've did your part on this planet. Now, we thought it would be the most intelligent thing to do, to save a Messiah. Do you know how many people run in the streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv claiming to be the Messiah? Do you know? A lot. And they are changing each time you go to Tel Aviv, especially the area of the market, Shuk Carmel, like next to Allen Bishan King. Alright? Each time sometimes it is a Jesus, sometimes it's just a Messiah, sometimes it's Yechezkel, the prophet, Elijah. They say they are the reincarnation of those. But a lot of Jesus, Yeshua, and a lot of just the Messiah, like plain, okay, with no extras, all right? So, you should save them first because they're truly shifted. They're just lost in words of consciousness. Usually they go to shift because they do drugs. And it says in the Kabbalah that drugs are direct light, okay? It can do the shift, however. Many people are going through this, something like a taste from the experience of the Pardes, just a taste, okay? Through those LSDs, mushrooms, psychedelics. But it's not it, okay? This is not enlightenment. It's a taste from a different stage of consciousness in which you start to merge with your surrounding, but it is a little taste of the Pardes. It is not it. And they think it is it, all right? There is another stage of consciousness. It's called entering the Pardes. What is the Pardes? And it is mainly relevant to Hebrews, Jews and Christians. Because each group, each Kamati group, has its own frequency and its own energetic vortexes and its own DNA memories. If you're a Jewish or Christian, you will have similar things happening to you unless you've been through the shift under Buddhism. Let's say you are Jewish, you went to the East, become a Buddhistic monk, then the shield around you, the energy, the shelter is the Buddha, so you won't experience your Hebrewism, okay? If there is another dominantic energy. Okay? So, I'll just explain to you what it means, the Pardes, because I believe that this is the source to the word paradise in English, right? Now, Pardes, just a minute, I'll look something, maybe I can write on something. Okay, let me see if I can find one. Yes, on the floor here. Now, just try and show you how it looks like in Hebrew. Actually, the word pardes, it is 4 Hebrew letters. Okay, this is how you write pardes. Oh, the camera is, I don't know if you see it upside down or either. I hope not. Okay, I hope not. Anyway, all right. This letter is pei. Pei is like a shortcut for the word pshat. All right, I'll explain later what it means, each one. Pshat. This one is reish, rmaz. This one is daled, drash. This one is samech, sod. Sod is the secret, okay? So it's actually, I don't know how you say it in English, but it's a sort of a shortcut for a word, okay? And this expression, this term, represent the spiritual of enlightenment in the Hebrew words, okay? This is the Hebrew shamanism, this is the Hebrew mystica. This is the other side, like the Buddhist has the Satori. The Hebrews have the Pardes. Okay. It's the same thing, it's just different names. Not the same because there are a few universal characteristics, I will speak about them, that the Buddhist will have and the Hebrew and everyone will. But then it has a lot to do with your karmatic group, your DNA, your subjective situation, vortexes of energy. It's not really the same, but there are some universal characteristics, such as the chaotic experience. It happens to all. The physical reality starts to disappear, all right? And you find yourself lost in the chaos, like lost in space. So the chaotic experience happened to practically most of them around the world. Merging with the universe, becoming the one. Not everyone have the guidance, like the inner voice, like Abraham have. The Hebrews have it a lot. I don't know if the Buddhists sometimes. Okay, we'll get to it later. Okay. So, what are those words are actually saying? Pshat, rmaz, drash, sod. Now, there are all kinds of explanations. I will give you my explanation, the way I've received it. And I am very much affected by Rabbi Nachman from Bristol, all right? So it is mixed, right? So the word pshat is from it's the root of pashut, simple, okay? Now pshat is actually, it's representing a certain level of consciousness and sort of psychological level, intellectual, it's mixed, okay? Pshat consciousness is the simple consciousness, the asleep consciousness, the common one. Most people are asleep, all kinds of level, but so this is where most people are, okay? In this level, pshat consciousness, simple consciousness, that is actually blind to most of the impressions they have around them. They cannot see or hear, okay? Pshat. They have ears, but they cannot hear. They have eyes, but they cannot see. You see, this sentence repeats itself among the Hebrew prophets over and over again. What does it mean? They have eyes, but they cannot see. They have ears, but they cannot hear. What does it mean? It means that the consciousness is asleep. There is like something is covering. It's like people are wrapped with nylon wraps and they are walking like that in the street and they don't know it. Let me put it this way. When you look around, you are having conversation, interaction, you go to work. There is a certain amount of impressions you are getting from your surrounding and a certain amount, a certain depth that you can analyze those impressions. But first you have to be able to receive them. Once your consciousness is pshat, is asleep, most of it is blocked. You see just what is in your mind. Whatever you see is not objective. You are very subjective. And you see just a few impressions. A person that is awakened and he's fully present will see at least receive 10 times more impressions than an ordinary person. Because you see, once your consciousness is asleep, if you are very lucky and you are doing a lot of inner work, maybe you can stay present 10% of the time, maybe, most likely less. An awakened person can be 100% present. It might, I don't know if it takes effort, but let's say 90% awake. It is easy with no effort at all. Right? The impressions you receive are way, way beyond an ordinary person. Eventually, after you do process with it, eventually the skills you get are the skills of a detective. Yes, those in the police, the brilliant one. You get those. Actually, if you are a policeman or a detective, an intelligent one, yeah, you should try and wake up, because it will take you to another level, okay? So, this is the pshat. Consciousness is the simple. Reish Ramaz. Ramaz means remez, clue. Okay, I give you a clue. Like in the story of Hansel and Gretel, they went to the witch house and they left pieces of bread, I think it was, so they'll know their way back home. Right? Clues to go back home. However, the birds ate it, if I remember correctly. So the clues are actually a different stage of consciousness, more evolved, more awakened. It's a person that is not a zombie anymore, and he starts to notice that the divine or the spirit sends him clues, and he starts to notice them, and yeah, hey angels, I know you just did that, God, hey Havaya, I saw that, I saw the magic, hallelujah, thank you Hashem. All right, you start seeing that, you start noticing that. This is the next step. And then drash. All right, you are noticing the clues, you are speaking to Hashem, you're doing a spiritual work for a long time. You had enough of second-hand knowledge. You want the knowledge. And you think you can handle it. Now you demand the knowledge, you speak to Havaya, to Hashem. Demand. You're not waiting that someone will give it to you. You demand the knowledge. Had enough? I want to know what on earth going on this planet. I want to know who created it. I want to know what's going on. I had enough. I demand knowledge. You will receive it once you are ready. Then you are shifted into the secret. And this is the dimension of magic. And many of the stories, however science fiction it might look in the Bible, are actually real, and I'll speak about them later. All kinds of bizarre stuff. I'll explain it in modern terms, okay? So this is the pardes, like this is the process. I might be even speak. Okay, I'll speak to you about the whole concept of giving, to give, okay? In Judaism, and they have quite a nice ladder steps, that describe enlightenment through giving. It's intelligent. I have to finish the video because of the camera. They told me, it can only do it for a certain time. We are quite technophobic here. We don't have television, and we need to we need to deal with technology now, all right? We can handle it. We'll channel Hashem. Hashem will explain to us how to do it, all right? We'll be guided, all right?